Hi there, it's Carol Borgeson with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be making project number 5, our final project in our Signs of Santa online class. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current club kits and class kits I'm offering. Now if you don't have the class kit, I'll give the supplies and dimensions as we go along so that you can make this project along with us. This is an adorable little gift bag, treat box, whatever you want to use it for. It's made with the mini gable boxes that we sell at Stampin'. If you see any supplies that you'd like to purchase, check out my website and get that current host code so that you can earn customer rewards from me. So let's get started making our project. This is our class kit that we'll need. Here's our mini gable box. We have a strip of red and white striped DSP. It is 1 7/8 inches by 12. This is from the Santa's Workshop DSP that we sell. We have a piece of 12-inch textured weave Poppy Parade ribbon, 8 inches of the silver twine. We have a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock die cut with the third smallest scalloped circle and the layering circles framelits. And then we have, I give you 2, you only need 1. These are from the Stitch Labels framelits. And that's what we're going to stamp our official seal of the North Pole on. We have a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 1.5. That's just to stamp and die cut our little tag to and from. So we'll do some stamping first. So we'll need our stitched labels framelets, die cuts, and we'll put everything else aside. And we'll also need this to stamp our little label on. Now we're going to be using Poppy Parade ink, and because these are pre-cut for you, I'll go ahead and tell you you'll need to put a little bit of adhesive on the back and attach it to a piece of scrap paper. That just gives us a way to hold it in place so that we can stamp on it, because it's too small to put the magnet on and stamp on. Now we want to get the seal, the North Pole, official seal of the North Pole, and we're going to place it here in the center of our circle. And then we're going to ink it up, and that looks good. So to do the to and the from, I am going to use that piece of Whisper White. I'm going to do the from first, and I just want to make sure I leave room to die cut. And in your dies is this tiny little tag die. So that's the die that we're going to cut it with, and so we're going to put our from there and ink it up with some red ink, some Poppy Parade ink. So now we have our from. Now this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to die cut that from, and then I'm going to put on the other side of it, once I die cut it, I'm going to stamp the to. I found that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to tape this in place, leave plenty of room for me to write who it's from. Just use some tape to tape that in place and run it through my Big Shot. Now after you die cut, if you find you have a ridge around the back side where you're going to stamp to on a flat hard surface, you just want to take and rub that ridge out so you don't have that ridge anymore, and it will come out easily. You just rub it. You could use a bone folder too, I guess, if you didn't have the back of your piercing tool. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, but I'm going to use a block to stamp the to. So I have the to, and I want the from, and I want to stamp the to. So I'm going to stamp the 2 on this side. Get my little 2 stamp. It's a very small stamp. I'm going to put it in the corner here of my, this is a B block. Let me straighten it out a little bit. So I'm still going to stamp on this because I'm using photopolymer, but I'm not going to use my Stamparatus. I'm just going to ink up my 2 here and stamp here where I want it. Now I have my 2, so my to and from, and that's all the stamping that we have. So we're going to bring in all of our elements and cardstock and such. This is going to go on top of our Poppy Parade scallop circle. I'm going to use some glue, just a little bit of glue there in the center, not too much, and set that right there in the center. Can move it around a little bit if I need to. Okay, now we'll let that dry. And we're going to do the, we're going to put this around. I started it for you because I had to do that to get it to fit. So we're going to go ahead and put some tear and tape along the edges. Okay, so we have our tear and tape along each edge. I'm just going to burnish that to make sure that it's down really good. I'll take my piercing tool and remove the tape. I think I'm going to start down here where I've already started, and I'm just going to pull it part of the way down past that crease. This is a work in process here. That way I don't have all this sticky to deal with. So I'm going to go ahead and match it up with this. Now there is a little bit of a spacing on the sides, like a 1/16 of an inch between the scored on the sides and your DSP. Now we're going to move this over and kind of bend it this way. Get back in camera. And we're going to remove some more of that, but not all of it, and we're just going to try to make sure that stays even, spaced evenly. And then we'll bring it over this way and remove some, I think I'll just remove the rest of the tape now. And there we go. And then remove this part here. And bend it over and match it up. Okay, and then that's how you get your DSP on your box. Now we'll go ahead and put our box in. The sides go, let's see, this part goes in first. Then your sides go in there, like that. And then this part goes down through there. Try to stay in camera. And there we go. So this part, then the sides, then the tag part, the flap part. And then of course this side is pretty self-explanatory. Now before we close that up, we want to put our little tag on. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and finish putting this on. This is going to go on the front, and it's going to stick up just a little bit, like that, not too much. And then let's see, how did we put this on? I put this on with, I think, you know what, I was going to use glue, and I realized that glue wasn't working for me. it was just not sticking to that fuzzy flocking. So I decided what is the thing that is the most sticky that I know of, and that had to be glue dots, hands down. I think our glue dots are like the most stickiest thing ever. One little glue dot can do so much sticky. It's amazing. So I thought a lot of glue dots would be like just what we need. So let's see, I have about half a dozen there right now. I'm going to put a couple more because that is maybe even one more, and one in the middle. You can't have too much sticky when you're working with this flocking. So I put the end at the top because the north points up, and then I put it in the center just like that. And that is stuck, believe me, it is stuck. It's not going to go anywhere. So next we want to do, I guess we'll do our bow next. So you got a 12-inch piece of the textured weave Poppy Parade ribbon. And of course, if you find that its natural curve, you go ahead and pinch you off a piece there, about that much. And that's between your fingers and thumb. Now you're going to take this piece, don't twist it, don't let it twist on you. Keep it flat and bring it around, still flat, and then bring it through where your thumb is and pull it. And then this wanted to twist, so I'm going to untwist it. And that's how we make our bow. And just pull it tight till you get it to the size you want. Keep your thumb here in the center to keep it from twisting. Just play with it till you can get it the way you want. When you have it about the width that you want, pull it tight and then push the sides in so it has like a puffy look to it. And then you want to cut your ends, and you'll cut those with some good scissors. I have these designated. I'm going to cut it kind of straight up like that. And there's my bow. That's going to go on with a couple of glue dots. Well, maybe even 3 across the back. 1, 2, 3, just for a good measure. And we want that, I might go ahead and close it up just so we can see where it's going to land when we put it in there. Puff our sides up. And we want it to be about right there. So there's our bow. Now that we have our bow in place, we can go ahead and put our tag on. So we have our tag, and we need our 8-inch piece of silver twine, and we're going to put one of the pieces of twine, ends of twine, through our circle. Hopefully it'll go through there. If it doesn't, try the other end. Don't let it, and if you have to wet it with your tongue, like you know, with your mouth, like when you're sewing, trying to thread a needle, you might have to do that too to get it in there. So when you have that, you want to put it so that it's around this the front handle like that, and then you just want to take the ends, put them together, and then just tie a knot. Like that. And then if you want to trim it so that it's not such a long tail, you can do that. So there's your little tag. And your box is all ready to give to someone for their present. So that was project number 5, and hopefully you enjoyed my Signs of Santa online class. Again, check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to find out what current club kits and class kits I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.